right, this is what the Rabbit does when you try to start it. And you get smokiness. I don't know if you can see that, but it's just diesel smoke. So, yay. Weird. So, we have been attempting to get the Rabbit running again, and currently the fuel injection pump is a mess. I have the cap off of it, and you can see even empty, it's full of something. And the governor barely works on it. So what we're gonna do is remove it, and I think I'm gonna have it rebuilt. Finding a used one is proving problematic. So I think what we're gonna do is attempt to pull the fuel injection pump off. And while we're at it, I think I'm gonna pull the injectors and have those rebuilt as well. I think the injectors on this car are original to the car. I know I'm sort of the original owner-ish, but I don't think my father even put new injectors on it. So they have well over 300,000 miles on them. So the last time I drove this car, it barely could keep 60 miles an hour, and I have a feeling that the fuel system is part of the blame. So we are going to attack that. So without further ado, we're gonna yoink the fuel injection pump out of this thing. Hooray, hooray. We're gonna try to just remove the cover, pull the belt off of the pulley, remove the pulley, and then it's 4 bolts holding it on. I've already removed the lines, so all it is pulling the 4 bolts and removing it. And then I have to put the cap back on so that we don't get as much dirt in there as, we need. And then I will throw it in a box and take it over to the local diesel rebuilder and have them have a go at it. So hopefully they can get it clean. But anyway, we'll be back. Fuel injection pump back and injectors, and it is oh so shiny and ready for installation. I'm really excited about that. Fuel injectors are here. I currently have the engine kind of in a holding pattern. Before I get any of this stuff installed, I have to worry about the fuel in the fuel tank, because that's what caused the problem in the first place. So since my garage is an utter pit and I don't have room to maneuver, what I'm gonna do is remove the fuel sending unit and try to siphon the fuel out that way. And then we can have a look in the tank and see what we can see. The cap actually had a little bit of rust on it, but it did not go further down into the car, which I'm very thankful for. And while I have the back seat out, I'm going to clean the entire back area of the car and see how much body or paint work needs to be done. I don't think a whole lot. There will be some, but first things first, we need to get the fuel out of the car. So I have to remove the fuel sender and then take a peek inside and see what we see. So once I get the fuel sender out, I will actually video some of that so we can all see it. So hang on a sec. Hello everyone. So it's been a while since I've recorded anything for the Rabbit, but what we've done so far is installed rebuilt injectors. These are actually the original injectors rebuilt. The ones that I pulled out were the original injectors with well over 300,000 miles on them. So that's probably been part of the problem with its lack of power for so long. So we have new injectors. And I also rebuilt the fuel injection pump, or had it rebuilt. As you can see, it's not installed. It is over here, getting ready to go in. There it is, still in its baggie and so shiny. Can't wait to put that puppy in. So far I have removed 6 gallons of diesel from the tank. The diesel that was in the tank was kind of gooey. Although as I got more and more out, it started looking more like regular fuel. So I'm hopeful that that will be enough. To get the rest out, I'm thinking about removing the fuel filter and housing and just drawing the fuel straight up the line. I might even just draw it up the line here, find an old line and put a pump on it and just pull all the fuel out of the tank that way, and then we can put fresh diesel in it. So I don't want to have old diesel in my fresh, new, shiny injection pump. I think that would be bad. So I also have a box of parts right there. Fuel filter, air filter, new valve cover gasket, timing belt. I didn't get a tensioner. This timing belt only has a couple thousand miles on it, but it's 11 years old. So I thought it would be wise to throw another one on. The tensioner also has that, but it still feels really good. So I'm gonna let it go and see how it goes. It should be all right. This will not be a daily driver, so I'm not too worried about belts breaking in the middle of traffic or anything. As you can hear, I mean, it's nice and silent. No grit, no nothing, just feels good. So we'll use that. What else do I have in here? Oh yeah, I have I bought a baffle, an oil baffle for it. These were notorious for blow-by. And even though I did replace the rings at about 260,000 miles or so, it still gets just a little bit of blow-by. The air filter housing kind of gets a little bit of oil mist in it, and it does use a little bit of oil. So I thought I might give the oil baffle a try. It basically is just a plastic part that lays underneath the valve cover and prevents oil from being drawn up the air breather into the air intake. It allows the air to go through, but doesn't allow the oil. So we'll see if that cuts down on the amount of blow-by. It's not enough blow-by to cause the engine to run away or anything. I've had that happen. That's bad. This very engine did that. I'll do more about that when I talk about the history of this car. But yeah, we're not going to have that happen. So for now, we are going to put a new fuel system on it. And then the other parts that I need to install, the steering column bearing is completely shot. And I have a problem with one of the brakes. So I've got parts for everything, just need to put it all in. So, and then I also have in the corner over there, a 5-speed transmission that I'd like to throw in. That's an FN to replace the GC that's in here, 4-speed. So once I get that in, I need to order all the linkage bits. And I want to swap this over to a 5-speed. It's needed to be a 5-speed since it was my primary vehicle. So we're gonna make that happen. But anywho, that's where we are right now. I will be throwing in the fuel injection pump, timing it up, getting the fuel out of here, and we'll see what happens. So hopefully it'll start up and I can move it out of here. I really need to clean my garage, and the car is in the way, so I need to move it in order to do that. So one thing at a time though, got to get the car started to move it. So we'll work our way up from there, but in any case, I will post back later. great. So the injection pump still having issues. I've got my foot to the floor and it's trying to stay running, but if I take my foot off of it, it's gonna die. Are we ready? 1, 2, 3. It's just not pulling enough fuel. Something's wrong with it. So far I've had the injectors on the pump rebuilt, and that's done squat. So I've either got a leak or there's something wrong with the pump still. More to come. So that's after running it about 8 to 10 times. We're getting a bit of, and that's at 10 bar, and it is sinking slowly as it pulls fuel. But then when it gets down pretty low, it stops pulling bubbles and it's just fuel. I think it's just because the air makes its way through. I don't see any weirdness on the connections, and these are all tight. Tight, and the injectors are all tight. There's no leaking that I can see on any of the lines, return lines or otherwise. It's just weird, and now it's almost down to 2 there. Let's hit it a couple times here. I'm just gonna bring it up to there-ish. Yep, I'm still getting air. It is pulling air from somewhere. But I can't tell from where. This is a new fuel filter. By the way, there's no air in here at all. I checked, and there's one little bubble right there. That's it. There's nothing in there. The system is as bled as it's going to get. But as you can see, it drops off. So we'll have to see.
You should have a good steady stream. And this is about idle right here.
Yeah, that's about right.
So that's about what you should get idle. When you rev it up, it'll get a little bit better. Not a whole lot, because it's going to hit that regulator. The regulator will kick in. Yeah, the regulator is probably about there. Yeah, that's looking good. It's pretty, they all firing?
Yep. So here we are putting the injection pump back in after testing it at my friend's house. We've gotten the pump to actually pull fuel and pass it out to the return line. So that means it's actually pulling fuel again. Hopefully this is the last time I have to deal with this. I've currently just set the pump in, reattached the cold start, and loosely put in the 3 bolts on this side, but the one on the other side is a pain in the rear, so I'm still working on that one. Once it's all in, we can put the belt back on and time it and try to start it and see what happens. Hopefully it runs this time, but I'm planning to get this done. It's currently Saturday night, so I'm hoping Sunday afternoon I can get this thing all done and started. We shall see, but yeah, I want this thing running again. So here we go. She runs, yay! Fired right up. Everything's back together.